Hey my brothers and sisters, if you're watching. This video is going to be freaking awesome. I'm going to show you exactly no more guessing. If you're going to do this, we're going to do it right. What power washer to buy, why I should buy it, what do I need to know, and is it the right choice for me? And we're going to do videos just like this for everything individually. Hoses, hose reels, everything. So without further ado, let's get into it. But if you haven't already, I need you to click subscribe, like, and hit that notification bell. You already know we got the best content out. I'm always helping you guys. Go ahead and ask my subscribers. Anytime they contact me, I'm messaging them back, I'm answering their questions, and I'm pointing them in the right direction. So here we go. This power washer deserves a pat on the back. This is an $800 power washer. It's 4 gallons a minute, 4,400 psi, and this thing alone has produced so much income that we have everything you see here. The trailer, the 8 gallon a minute machine, the van. So before anyone tells you don't waste your money on this crap, think again. Now if you go ahead and look down in my description, I'm going to have a link and a well-written reason for everything. I have 2 power washer options in the link below. One is if you have more money. One is if you have enough money to start off with and you can invest in a little higher quality power washer, and by all means go ahead. But a lot of times when guys are starting off, they don't have much money, and I was one of them. I literally used my last $1,000 to buy this machine. I think back when I bought it like a year ago, it was $900 or $1,000, but now they're 800 bucks. You can't go wrong. So here's some things you should know about this power washer. This thing is online and in the link that I send you. This is going to be black. This is only red because I broke mine, so I had to get a replacement, and the only replacement they had was red. But it looks cool, so I don't mind. It comes on a cart. I took it off and mounted it on the truck. I do leave it outside. Some guys ask about, do I worry about it being in the rain or anything? No, not at all. It's fine. You can see it kind of rusts a little bit, but it's all right. It's a machine, so it does its thing. Now the pump. This is kind of what I want to get into. This pump is a fully plumbed pump, and it's a direct drive pump, meaning it's built and designed for the water to be directly going into the inlet line, into the pump, and then out of the pressure line. It does not create suction. Some guys will say they do hook their direct drive pumps to a buffer tank. I actually was one of them. I did that my first year, and it did work somehow. If you prime it correctly, you can get it to work, but I suggest not doing that. And if you really insist on it, then I suggest getting an additional pump, like a little booster pump or something, to help push that water into the inlet, you know, in between the buffer tank and the power washer. This is your unloader. So this is built into the pump. Wow, that's really stiff. I just have it fully open, but it's built into the pump, meaning you can't, if this thing breaks, if the unloader goes, you can't replace it. You have to get the whole new pump, replace the whole new pump. This is the downstream injector that it comes with. It's built into the pump. You can't remove it. You can remove these fittings. So these are fit. This is an extra downstream injector. This is I'll get into this. But basically, it normally looks like these fittings are just right here. So I have a little coupler, a brass coupler. I just got it, I think I just got it at Farm and Fleet or something, and I attached my downstream injector to it. This is an Adams downstream injector. So technically my machine has 2 downstream injectors. I don't use this one at all. It could be capped off, it could be whatever, but it just sits there. But I wanted to show you that because that's the difference, is this whole pump is one whole thing. It's one whole shebang. If you're gonna this downstream injector is pretty much worthless. If you're gonna run any, I haven't even tried it, but if you're gonna, I have tried to use it, never had success. But if you're gonna get this, you're gonna need to get the Adams downstream injector off of Pressure Tek. This hose is kind of annoying me. It's $30 or something, and you need to get the 2.5 or the 2 to 3 gallon a minute. Everything's like seized up. Usually I have some vice grips because sometimes that happens, but you have to get the 2 to 3 gallon per minute option. If you're running over 100 feet of hose, there's going to be back pressure in the hose line. It's going to cause this, it's not going to draw if you don't get the 2 to 3 gallon per minute option. The 2 to 3 gallon per minute option, I believe, is like a bigger orifice, so it allows you to draw chemical. Now what's cool about the Adams downstream injector is this thing spins open and shut. You can see the little arrow. So when you spin it this way, it doesn't pull chem. When you spin it the other way, then it's open to pull chem. It comes in handy when you are using, because I use like a 5 gallon bucket or something. I'm doing my house wash. I got my 5 gallon bucket sitting down here. And that's sitting in the 5 gallon bucket, and I, apply my chem. I come over here, spin this shut real quick, and then I go back and I start applying water to wherever I'm applying water. And then when I go to apply chem, just turn it on instead of always having to. Otherwise, if you don't get this, you're gonna like, maybe you want to get a general high draw injector, like one that doesn't have this option to open and close. If it's open, it's allowing air to come in, so it's going to cause less performance if you're sucking air into it. You want to always be sucking a fluid up. So let's say you don't have that option, it's just an injector. You would have to switch this. If you wanted water, you would have to switch this from the chem bucket to a freshwater bucket every single time. Because you always want to be sucking up a fluid. Whereas, or cap it off or something, or pinch it, or get a valve where you'd have to do something like that. This is just way more handy. The way this is set up is we just open and shut it, and then at the last wall that we're rinsing, we drop it in our freshwater bucket with it still open, and then we suck fresh water through, so it rinses everything out. So that's how we do that. What else do I want to go in on? Oh, what's also great about this little cheapy $800 unit, this pump is under a 2-year warranty. It's a crappy little pump, I'm telling you, it is. But it works. It gives you 4 gallons a minute, 4,400 PSI, and that's what we need. So, not really the PSI, but we need the 4 gallons a minute. So, I blew this pump at the end of my first year, and I kind of want to say what attributed to that was me pulling from a buffer tank that wasn't, it didn't have adequate suction, so the machine wasn't getting as much water as it probably should have or something, or it was working harder to get that water. But this pump blew. Water was spraying all out the sides here one day doing a surface cleaning job, a big commercial surface cleaning job. Totally sucked. And I underbidded the job, so it double sucked. But I ended up bringing it to Farm and Fleet because they are Honda certified or whatever. They're small engine certified, and they sent me a brand new pump. And they have this little thing on there. I'm not sure if the pump comes with this or not, but they did send it back with this on there. And for some reason, I couldn't remember if the original one had this. But this is a little thermal relief valve. So if it does get hot in here and water's building up, water shoots out of here. But if water's starting to shoot out of there, you already know you're fucking up. I was really trying to make this video without swearing, so ignore that. If water shoots out of here, you're already screwing up. There's too much water and pressure and heat building up, and it's just trying to get out of somewhere. So if it gets out of here, then oh crap, I gotta get to I gotta really pull the trigger. Oh, that's another thing. With this unit versus, here I'll show you real quick. versus the 8 gallon a minute unit, or a belt driven unit, or any other, you know, a little more high-end unit. They have these return lines. This is a return line. So this line goes all the way back to my tank. So when I lay off the trigger, it's not as bad because it's the water's being released and going back into the tank, being kind of recycled. So that's food for thought. But you guys, you know, I've like you can see, I've done pretty well. I did pretty well with this machine. It's not the end of the world that, you know, if you lay off the trigger, you're hurting the machine. It just makes you work faster. You know, you're just constant, and it teaches you how to not waste time. You know, sometimes I notice with, like, when I'm trying to train a guy or something, they lay off the trigger and then they walk around the house. You know, I just constantly, my trigger is constantly spraying. Just I'm not taking a step unless I'm washing or spraying or getting something wet. And it actually helped train me to wash more efficient. I wash extremely fast. So if you ever need to lay off the trigger or stop and do something, unfortunately, you really should come back to your machine, power it down, and then turn it back on. And it's not the end of the world, but the end goal is you don't want to have pressure building up in the pump, ever. Even in a machine like that, when you turn it off or turn it on, you always leave the trigger, hold the trigger down, or the ball valve. You know, I have a ball valve at the end of the hose. You want to leave the ball valve open. You don't want pressure sitting in that pump. It will ruin it. It will damage it. So I believe that's it. Oh, I'm leaving a link in the description for the higher end machine, which is a 5.5 gallon per minute. You know, it's a little nicer, but this one is gonna make you some money, I promise you. And if you're in a pinch for money, I would really go with this one. I highly suggest it. And also, food for thought is, once you buy it, you've got this nice Honda GX 6 or Honda GX 390, which is a beautiful motor. It's one of the best small engine motors you can get, if not the best. Well, probably the bigger one is better, but the Honda in general is a really good motor. So, you know, say your 2-year warranty runs up, and or you just want to upgrade, you can get a brand new 5.5 gallon per minute, 3,500 psi gear driven pump for $799. So the same amount as this unit that you bought. You could buy a brand new pump that's really high end, really professional. Comes with, you know, a separate unloader. You know, the parts aren't all mushed together in this pump. And it's gear driven, not to be confused with direct drive. Direct drive is totally different than gear driven. Gear driven and belt driven pumps are very similar. I mean, they're identical in performance. There's a lot of guys who favor gear driven pumps. There's a lot of guys who favor belt drive, but in the end, they're all the same, and their performance is great. I think belt drives just require a little more maintenance. You know, you got the belt to deal with and stuff, but there's a lot more guys turning towards the gear drive pump or gear drive setups, what I've been noticing. So that's it for the Power Washer Course 101. I hope I didn't miss anything. If I did, please drop your questions below in the comments. I will answer every single question. And like I said, don't forget, the links and everything is in the description. So if you're wondering where I got this exact machine, link is in the description. So that's about it, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Make sure you follow my other social media accounts. I got the Instagram, John Wally Lang. I got the Snapchat, Kaleidoscope Mine, also in the description. But I'm able to stay on that stuff daily. And if you want to stay in touch with me or know what we're up to or whatever, go ahead and follow me on those accounts. There's a lot of exclusive content that doesn't make it to YouTube that gets over on there. So make your way over there. My following over there is still kind of low, so I'm still able to get to every single person individually if you ever have any questions. But you guys, you can do this. You can do this. I know it's scary when you got like $1,000 to your name and you're like, am I really about to buy a power washer? Hell yeah you are. Hell yeah you are. Buy that power washer and then come up with an extra $100 or an extra couple $100. Now you got yourself a little cheapy hose reel and some hose, you know, and before you know it, you find a garden hose reel on the side of the road and you're reeling up, you know, it just comes, it keeps coming. But you gotta take a risk. There's no way around it. You're gonna have to take a financial risk if you want to do this. So much love, you guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Take care.